Mono printing demonstration. First, gather your equipment. You will need rollers, an inking plate, so acetate or plastic, some printing inks, palette knife or normal knife, some newsprint, some cartridge paper and your image. So first thing you need to do is take in your water-based printing ink, starting with your lightest colour, so we're working light to dark. So you can see there that I mixed a gold and a yellow together. The water-based printing inks are mixable. So you roll out your first layer of ink until you hear it go tacky. Once you hear a sort of sticky Velcro sound, you then block that with newsprint. So probably 2 blocks will be enough, just so that no other excessive ink is coming off. You then place your cartridge paper onto your inking plate and your image that you're wanting to take the mono print from on top of that cartridge paper. And you can see here that first of all I did some rubbing to transfer some ink over, and then I've worked with the biro to apply slightly more pressure, and you can see where the darker tones have come out because of the darker pressure. So with that first colour, it's not quite dark enough for me, so here I'm making a slightly sort of more orangey tone to the yellow. I'm inking up on the same plate using the same roller, and then again I'm doing the same process again. So place the cartridge paper down, my image, do some rubbing with my hand, and then some mark making with a biro on top. So now the darkest colour, so this is black, so you've got to be careful to make sure that you take off enough ink. Less is often more. You don't want it to have too much on there. And what I'm doing now is working with mark making, following the contours of the image and adjusting the pressure to achieve the different tones. So it's all about your mark making and the amount of pressure that you're applying. When you're drawing onto your image, you need to try and make sure that your hand is not pressing onto the paper, because wherever your hand presses, that will make the ink transfer onto your monoprint. So you've got to be really quite controlled and draw in a different way. So the more pressure you apply, the more marks you apply, the darker your tone will be. The less pressure, the less marks, the lighter your tone will be. So it's all about controlling your hand movements, controlling your mark making, controlling the pressure, making sure you're following the contours, and just keep having a quick look at your image without moving it from the printing plate to check that what you're achieving on your print is what you are looking for. So you can see as well that I use my hand to transfer some of the images, which gives a softer mark. And then when you're happy with your print, you release that, and that's ready to dry.